welcome to New Game Plus. I'm Tim, I'm joined by Donald. How are you?
I'm excited because, well, for video games for one, but for two, you've been getting back into the Hearthstone, haven't you?
Yes, I've been playing Hearthstone, getting back into it, trying to get up to the level 20 for Tavern Brawl, because everyone was so surprised, oh, there's a level 20 cap on it? I really should have just stuck to one deck and grinded out the level 20. I need more cards.
Because, well, you played a little bit at the start when the game was first released, but you kind of fell off a little bit. What got you back into this game? It was the World of Warcraft pet, wasn't it?
Well, it's a lot of Blizzard in-game items that, I mean, I'm getting stuff with the BlizzCon ticket as well, so I just have to use them.
Can I have your card back?
Maybe.
Yes.
Victory.
But how have you found it hard getting it? Because you've essentially come from zero experience with these trading card games, and here you are with level 20 already.
Yeah, when you're playing against people online, it's like, how are they killing me so fast? But
I feel it's skill and lots of it.
It's mostly patron warriors that are screwing me, and it's like I just don't have the cards or the hero to deal with them. But I'm getting used to it.
You still face patron warriors at your matchmaking rank?
Yes.
Huh.
They're at every matchmaking rank apparently.
Goodness gracious me! As someone who's playing
Everyone, get in here.
That's probably that's the best and worst sound effect in that game.
Yes, it is. But you've been playing a different card game.
Yes, the Magic the Gathering Battle for Zendikar expansion recently came out. Indeed, as you're watching this, we have just come back from the Grand Prix up in Sydney, and where I'm going to guess I scrubbed out super hard. Because
Probably.
That's just me, yeah?
And also the competition at Grand Prix are very, very tough.
Which just exacerbates my non-skill with the game, but it's good fun anyway. We'll probably have stories of that somewhere on our Facebooks, but in the meantime, we've got an episode, don't we, Tim?
Yes, we do. We've got an interview with Donna Burke, the voice for the iDroid in Metal Gear Solid 5.
We also have, as our main review, Disgaea 5, the 100 hours long JRPG.
But first up, Saint Seiya.
Okay, so Saint Seiya is actually one of the premier animes in the world.
Especially France.
France, South America,
Yeah,
pretty much nowhere else.
yeah,
But
that's true.
anytime a game comes out for a game like this, it'll create interest in the anime world just because there are so few games that actually make it out into English, and because, generally speaking, a lot of them are pretty meh.
Yeah.
So of course the big question is this game meh?
Meh? Is that how we're putting it? It is meh. For a fan, it comes across as very, I guess, cheap, the way they tell the story. It doesn't really go into a lot of the depth that I guess even the anime or the manga does.
Yeah.
And I guess the gameplay feels fun, but it just feels very similar to the last ones. They haven't really changed too much.
There's been no big jumps. And like, even if you haven't played any of the previous sort of arena fighter games based on this sort of thing, it's very flat as well. Like, there's a limited roster of moves and they all sort of interact in very straightforward ways. But that doesn't mean it's not fun. And that's the sort of important thing with a game like this, is that it has a lot of fun elements. Like we got into a lot of two-player games and that was fun. The story grinding, it's grinding, but it's fun grinding. And like the characters themselves, like whilst it doesn't follow the plot well, the characters come across pretty well as well. And you know, we've got limited exposure to Saint Seiya in the West, but we still know enough about it, and the flamboyance is there, which is obviously the most important part. Like, for a game like this, it is a Japanese game. There is a huge grind wall. This game has a funny way of doing it. There's a story mode, and then there's a grind mode where you have to buy more torches.
Like they light a circle? I don't know. You fight as gold people.
Gold people, and there's a crab.
Yeah. And flower lady man? Man lady, I don't know.
There's no women in this.
Aphrodite should be a woman.
No.
Okay.
Be confused. Play this game. No, actually don't. No, play it. Whatever.
It's fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
Boom! That's how you start the fight and finish it quickly!
Of the turbulent wind. Remember the name well.
My iron body is invincible, so beware! Martial power folio! KO! Zodiac wins!
Okay guys, we're right outside the Konami booth featuring a whole bunch of different Japanese and games that are releasing internationally as well. Most notably Metal Gear Online. There's a lot of buzz around the Phantom Pain, people playing it all around the world, and Metal Gear Online is its core multiplayer component. Awesome stuff at the moment. There's a lot of different kinds of ideas that are brought into the usual deathmatch variety, where enemies that are full-turned and enemies that are tranquilized rather than killed allows you to be less conspicuous around the battlefield, along with getting your own tickets and getting your own lives back within deathmatch. Awesome stuff. Also worthy of note is Tokyo Xanadu, which is an action RPG set to be released here overseas in Australia and America very soon, but is currently out in Japan. Just recently came out about a week ago. Really awesome stuff. Namely, there's so many Monster Hunter games coming out at the moment, especially here at Tokyo Game Show, and it's absolute joy to play every single one of them. But to the meat and potato, let's get down to the meat and potatoes, and that is Monster Hunter Cross. This game is an absolute joy to play. Think of like the Marvel vs. Capcom of Monster Hunter games. The amount of things you can do in this, the amount of mobility, verticality, everything that made Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate great is in this game as well. So some of the stuff you can do with the new weapons, Charge Blade, Insect Glaive, Great Sword, everything just has their own little niche and own little feature that you can use. And my God, is it amazing. It's just absolutely awesome to play. We also had a bit more hands-on time with Street Fighter V, some of the new characters including Karen, along with the new stage. Looks absolutely pretty. Karen, I haven't played her since Alpha 3, but she's still as good as a player or good as a fighter that I remember. Along with some new V-skill things as well. Her V-skills and her V-trigger opens up all sorts of possibilities and all sorts of new target combos. Also, Nakali also got turned into a charge character. Why? We have no idea, but I guess we'll find out closer to the game's release.
Now, Kenny, Little Battlers, Little Aussie Battlers. I can't remember what the game was
Little
called.
Battlers.
Yeah, okay, Little Battlers. Okay, cool. I was right then. So the game comes out, I put it in, and I'm like straight away, this is an anime that I haven't seen. That they've turned into a game for the Western audience, and it turns out that yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yep, 2011 Danboru Senki, and this is Danboru Senki Bakuboost, which is the third iteration of the origin.
Okay, so it definitely has a backstory because it was coming in and it was showing me this grand story of like a little kid who's poor and his dad disappears and he gets given this toy, but apparently the toy can like ruin the world, and the story is beyond crazy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's a kid's story, it's a kid's anime story, and you get this feeling it's a kid's game when you play through. So you play through and until you finish story mode, and then you realize, oh my gosh, there's a lot of grind in this game, and there's a lot you can do.
And that is true. Like probably the gameplay in this game really does stand out. You have your robot, and you equip different parts, different weapons. I mean, there's different types and different kind of considerations like that.
Yeah,
but
piercing, crushing damage.
Yeah, but it is basically about what suits your style of play. What's going to help you, especially later on, cheap through some of the really hard levels?
Oh yeah, like abuse the terrain, like abuse the range, cheap shots, whatever, or you can just go combo into super.
Yep, well, and I think that's probably what the game has going for it is the flexibility. There's a lot of game to play in the sense that there's lots of parts to unlock. There's a lot to lots of different in-game modes to keep playing. But like, do you still think it's a worthwhile investment of your time, Kenny? Because you put a fair bit of hours into it.
Oh yes, it is surprisingly fun. And if you've got an OCD personality, you'll be like, I got the arm of this thing, but I don't have the legs. You're gonna grind it out.
Yeah. So when it's all said and done, LBX, great little fun robot game. Get ready to play it a lot and get ready to grind it a lot, Kenny. Because like someone once said to me, "Welcome to Die," I believe is the term.
Welcome to another edition of the Indie Bundle. This time we go local with a pair of quality Aussie-made games. First up we have Ninja Pizza Girl from the Noosa-based family studio Disparity Games. You play as Gemma, a 16-year-old girl who has to deal with 16-year-old girl issues like bullying and self-esteem, all whilst running on the city rooftops delivering pizzas. Now, the developers really wanted to push home the experience of bullying, and it sort of works. The enemies that are dotted around the levels, they are your rival ninja pizza deliverers. Essentially, it's a metaphor for your high school peers. And they will stop at nothing to make sure you fall and to humiliate you. And if this happens, the world becomes bleaker, and too much humiliation will literally bring you down. It's a feeling that, well, it sucks, like bullying. Now, thankfully, there's a bit more hope in the game's narrative, and although the writing is sharp, the anti-bullying message conveyed isn't as powerful here as it is with the gameplay. I wish the game spent more time developing Gemma and her relationship with others. Having said that, I feel like people Gemma's age would really resonate with the messages here. As for the game, the side-scrolling parkour platforming flows really well. The controls are tight for the most part, and the level design allows for both improvised gameplay and efficient pathfinding. So all in all, Ninja Pizza Girl has a nice, effective message about anti-bullying for people which it would resonate with. And on top of that, it has a solid gameplay base to boot. Up next we have Expand from Adelaide-based developer Chris Johnson. Now, the immediate thing that strikes you about this game is its stark visual presentation. All you have on screen is a white circular maze on top of a black background and this small tiny cube that you control. And as you move around, the map expands, contracts, rotates, and offers up new areas for you to navigate through. Now, it's surprising how much the game does with such seemingly limited tool sets. The game is constantly offering you new obstacles, new challenges, and it plays around with perspective and timing throughout its entire 90-minute duration. It's also a meditative experience too, aided by the atmospheric soundtrack. I would second the game's recommendation for you to wear headphones whilst you're playing this. But it is also really intense at times. The black and white maze becomes claustrophobic and disorienting, and the difficulty curves so gradually that you won't even notice that by game's end you're pulling off incredible feats of dexterity, you're pulling off abstract puzzle solving, all based off timing and instincts. Now, the phrase "well designed" doesn't even begin to detail expands achievements. It combines all of its elements, the visuals, the soundtrack, the level design, to create an experience that's unique and mesmerizing. That does it for this particular Aussie-made edition of the Indie Bundle. Come along next time when we'll have more independent games on offer.
Following total atomic annihilation, the rebuilding of this great nation of ours may fall to you. That's why we at Vault-Tec have prepared these educational materials for you to better understand the 7 defining attributes that make you special. Today, we will focus on strength. In the wasteland, essential supplies will be scarce. When an item of value is found, keep it close and away from bullies. The stronger you are, the more you can carry. Be sure to know your limits, or you may find it challenging to escape from hazardous scenarios, no matter how strong you are. There are other situations where you may find yourself in close proximity to unfriendly neighbors. For such cases, you must learn to defend yourself using your natural strength. Use anything sharp or sturdy enough to swing. Get creative with your implement, but stay reasonable and look for anything that can further enhance your innate vigor. The greater your strength, the greater the impact. But remember, some moments require more than muscle. Keep doing your chin-ups and push-ups because there's more strength can do for you. Swing for the fences like the pros, crafting specialized protective gear to keep, or building clever weapons to wield. Regularly study your Vault-Tec provided materials to prepare for survival. And to answer the question, do you know what makes you special?
Without a doubt, one of the most highly anticipated titles of this year is Fallout 4. Tim, are you amongst the masses?
Yes, I'm very much amongst the masses. I just hope that we don't get like a credit sequence after each mission saying Todd Howard game. And, I don't know, but I'm very excited.
I actually wouldn't mind that for completely different reasons, but still, we just need more middle. Let's just cut the pretense. I want another Metal Gear.
Yes.
Can we? Is that too much to ask? But Fallout.
Yes, Fallout 4. I put so many hours into Fallout 3, not so many into New Vegas. Still a fantastic game though, and very keen for this one. And this little trailer is bringing out something a bit different to what Fallout hype has been.
There has been no war never changes diatribe, although I want to hope that they've snuck it in there somewhere, knowing those, people, probably they may have.
Yes, but I can certainly see myself putting a lot more hours into this game with the proposed like base that you build up and have defenses of that. And
not to mention the mod potential as well, and if you're playing on the Xbox One version, you have access to all the PC mods too, which is just an impressive feat in and of itself.
Yes.
But let me ask you, Tim, will you be putting yourself into one of those Pip-Boy special edition gloves?
No. No, I'm not. The collector's edition was very expensive, very fancy.
Yes, very
But the main part of it is the phone.
Ah.
So you can make your own. Just like tape it to your wrist and you're fine.
No, that's an Apple Watch, sir.
So Disgaea is one of those series that they have a lot of fans and a lot of, I guess, loud fans in the sense that...
Yeah, particularly die-hard fans.
Die-hard fans of this game. And we've got now Disgaea 5, Alliance of Vengeance?
Alliance of Vengeance.
That's it. And, boy, what a game it is.
Yeah, I gotta say, there's quite a lot in the game for new players and for players who are die-hard fans, especially when it comes to incentivizing everything in the game.
Yeah.
So just little things like changing the way that you gain mastery of things and having that little bonus, that level 9 bonus, so you go back and replay levels all over again.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff really makes it, I guess, dedicated fans will find that stuff kind of strange at first, but once you get into the game, it's
really nice.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where I think it has enough strategy there for, I guess, a strategy fan of any type to come into.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Final Fantasy Tactics. Even, I guess, you could play some of your, maybe what? Fire Emblem, you'd easily be able to throw in fans.
Definitely. Your Fire Emblems, I wouldn't say your Advance Wars fans, because those games tend to be very number heavy, whereas this game is number heavy in a very different way. A lot of percentages, a lot of levels. You get to your characters to level 9,999.
And then you resurrect them, so you start all over again.
So if you do play this game, you can fall down the rabbit hole quite easily.
Quite easily. And it's
hundreds of hours.
Bazillions of hours, basically. Like, you could literally just keep playing this game and just have a character that's almost max when they're level 1. That's basically it. Like, you can't go anywhere after you get to level 1 if you've resurrected enough. There's so much content here also. Like, we're talking about, what, how many story chapters? About 50?
Close to 15.
Yeah.
So and it's a pretty sizable chunk. I think it's a bit longer than the previous games. Around, if you're rushing through, which is difficult, you'd be hitting around the 20-hour mark. If you're actually enjoying the game and going through at a steady pace.
Yeah.
Because of things like the cheat shop where you can adjust the difficulty manually.
Yeah.
You can get quite a lot of life out of your first playthrough if you're one of those people who's not going to play through the game twice.
That said, it's one of those games where even if you've, like, I guess, finished the story, there's still so much content.
So much to do, yeah.
You've got custom maps you can make, you can converse people with their custom maps.
Yep.
There's, like, netherworld effects that you can buy, you can make, like, I guess, new characters that you can just grind up to max level again. There's so much there that even just for a standard RPG fan, they're gonna love this game.
Lots of time to sink into it.
Yeah.
I like me a good JRPG, but the Disgaea series has always seemed intimidating just because you have to spend so much time with it, even longer than your Final Fantasies or your Personas. I've heard friends who have spent hundreds, plural, hours with this game. So that's the reason why I don't play this JRPG. Tim, why don't you play any JRPGs?
I don't know if I don't play any. I just can't think of any at the moment. I certainly play RPGs for hundreds of hours, like Fallout 4 is something that I will definitely do. But JRPGs, I think the word that you used is very good, intimidating, because investing so much time into a new style of game or a game that has very specific combat mechanics and something that you really need to put in large amounts of hours and also have longer sessions of is very intimidating.
And yet you happily do this in World of Warcraft.
I think MMOs are sort of moving away from that though, because WoW at the moment is something that you just come back to every day. You do your dailies, you see your garrison, you do a few things, and then you log off. You go play other games or you go do adult life things.
You know, the money earning and the finger thing, which means the taxes.
Yes.
Although what you're describing there, it sounds kind of like Hearthstone with a daily quest.
Yeah.
And you know what? This episode has gone full circle. Yeah.
Yes.
But before we get to the end, I want to mention our PAX panels, as in we'll be highlighting one a week until we actually hit PAX at the end of October. But we have on Friday night quiz time event. Our annual quiz panel is held once again where we'll get various representatives from the industry to prove their gaming worth. Join us, I believe it's 9 o'clock in the Drop Bear Theatre on the Friday nights. But until then, Tim,
please visit our website, www.newgameplus.tv.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/NewGamePlusTV.
Follow Twitter and Instagram at NewGamePlusTV.
And follow us on YouTube, we are New Game Plus TV, for videos and live streams.
Thank you, Donald.
Thank you, Tim.
We'll see you guys next week.